Okay, so this is module 8, database connectivity. Pretty much what we did within this project was we utilized IntelliJ in order to create our own database with data. And within this database, we'll then be able to display it within SQLite and be able to show our table within there. So pretty much what I first started off with was actually creating our database class. So as you can see right here, this is just some comments that I made to get a better understanding at the beginning, but this is just the main code right here. So we first we keep the database file inside a project under a data folder. So that's pretty much just showing the actual path of where it's going. So as you can see right here, you have just a module 8, the data, and then the students.db. We also then had the portion right here to be able to show SQLite driver the actual path in order to open a file right here. And then moving on, we have the actual connection to the database file right here. And then this is just a setup method right here for when a program starts. So this is going to be the actual table that's going to be created. So as you can see, we have our ID, first name, last name, major, and GPA as well for the data. And these is pretty much just going to be the header, so row 0, and then the data is going to be filled in within these headers, within these columns. As you can see right here, this is pretty much just going to be the actual table that's going to be created. So these are the values that's going to be placed within the actual columns. So we have my name, major, first name, last name, major, as well as GPA, and then we have 4 different people as well. And then the values can actually be changed later on. So these are going to be updated based off of however we wanted to update it within the actual main file once we get to that section. We also have this right here was pretty much just so that I was in order to actually match and create the actual tables that was desired to be created, because as I was going through it, I was having some issues where just the updated values was being displayed first instead of the actual table right here. So this pretty much was just able to help actually be able to display this table first and not the updated one multiple times. We also have this section right here. So just passing a prepare statement around, and this is just the actual parameter indexes for each different column as well. So you have first name, last name, middle, and GPA, and then actual index for each of those as well. And then this is just going to be used to actually execute the update. So we're going to actually have to use this in order to update the table that we first created up here and actually be able to change these values later on. Going down. Going down. Okay. Wait. My computer's reading. Okay. Also, this is going to be able to run and return results as a 2D array. So pretty much it's going to just have the row 0 as the column names, and then the row 1 through whatever to the actual data. And this is going to display it as a actual the 2D array list is just a row, a columns list pretty much. So that's pretty much just the whole aspect of that. And then select, run and select, which is just going to be used to actually read the data from the table and then convert it within the actual default table model as well. So the first table, the default table model was the first one that was created. We also have the binding the arguments to the next placeholder, running the query, converting the result set into a 2D list section right here. And then once again, building the header row and adding data within each row as well. And once again, converting the result set to a default table. So just the columns and rows that was first created. I still having the column names and the data rows as well. And then this section was also used because I was having issues with the actual GPA section, but this was used to make sure that each of the GPAs was displaying to the same decimal value. Then once again, this is just for the actual print model that's going to be displayed with an actual terminal. And then for the main class, this is pretty much just a script. So the idea of how it's actually being ran. So once again, we're preparing the database making the table and the rows as well within it. Um, Printing that entire table as a 2D array list. So once again, just the header and the rows, as you can see, making sure that the it actually displayed in the correct way that's matching the code that was recently in the database class. We're also showing an insert as well method. So we're going to add two different students and be able to just show these two different students that was added as well. We're also going to show the full table. So this is going to be the updated version of the original table that was first created, and to be able to show the two new students that was added. And then we're also going to delete these two students and be able to print the table again just with the students that was first placed within the table. We're also going to be able to run a search within the query as well, so pretty much all of the data, and find students with majors that sign on with an E and that have a GPA that's greater than or equal to 3.0. We're also going to be able to print results from a 2D array list as well. And we're also going to be able to update 3 different values as well within the actual query. And then we're going to be able to print that table once again within the default table model, but with the new changes that was made. Why is it doing this? Okay. So this right here is just going to be the table that's going to be shown for the 2 different people that was added, the 2 students. So we just named one of them test, first name temp A for the last name, and then the major and the GPA. And the same thing for this section right here, first name, last name, major, and GPA. And it's also going to be able to delete these rows as well, so these 2 students. And it's also going to show who was deleted as well within the actual statement once you run a mean. And then this right here is just to update the 3 different values. So as you can see right here for the first one, we're going to change, we're going to first search for anybody in the query who has the last name Hanks, and their new GPA is going to be changed from whatever it is to be set to 3.35. And for number 2, it's going to be able to change a student's major. So it's going to search for the query for anybody with the last name Yeomans, and then their major is going to be changed to ECE. And then lastly, we're going to change a student's last name. So whoever's last name is Lightyear, the tables are then going to update it to change to Willis. So as you can see with the actual table right here, we first started right here with the database as a 2D array. So once again, rows and columns. So first you have your ID, first name, last name, major, and GPA. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have the first name, the last name, the major, and the GPA right here. We also have the statement that was also mentioned earlier with the adding 2 different rows. So the 2 students that was going to be added was temp A and temp B students. And then right here, this is just showing the what was added in general. So this is just showing just the 2 students that was added just by themselves. So as you can see, the ID is going from 5 to 6. So it's now changing the amount of rows that would be added throughout the entire table. So yeah, first name, last name, major, and GPA, just like the this table right here. And now right here is the actual complete table with this 2 students added as well. So we can pretty much just combine the 2 tables right here. And now, as you can see, we deleted those 2 students that was added, and now we're just displaying the actual table that was first created once again. And then the query results. So pretty much it did its search. So it found that Hanks ended up changing it and did a search within the actual query, and then it's showing the actual results of the actual search as well. And then for this portion right here, it just shows the actual updated rows portion. So it's saying that this was met, so that's why it has the number 1 right here. If it was 0, then that means that no one within the query actually met those criteria, so that nothing would have been changed. So since it was met, the GPA for Hanks will be changed from 3.25 to 3.35 now. Since there was a student with the last name Yeomans, and since I was a student with the last name Yeomans, they changed their major from CPE to ECE. And once again, since there was a student with the last name Lightyear, they changed their name to Willis. So then once again, as you can see right here, this is now the new table with the updated values. Let me see if I can make this bigger so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, this was once the default table, as you can see, but now these are the new changes that was added. So my major was changed from CPE to ECE. Tom Hanks' GPA was changed from 3.25 to 3.35. Nothing was changed for Michael Jackson, and Buzz Lightyear's last name was changed to Willis. And then going into the actual SQLite code, you can see these changes as well right here. So pretty much what this is just going to do is just going to show you the actual updated version of everything. So once again, let me see if I can do it this way. Okay, so pretty much as you can see, this is just the two different tables right here. So SQL is just going to show the updated version or the final version of everything. And yeah, this is just pretty much an exact match. So yes, this is the end of my demonstration, and this is what I did for this module.